A Jersey Shore high school teacher has won the state's top teaching honor for 2023-24.
Congratulations, Joseph Nappi. You are the 2024 New Jersey State Teacher of the Year.
All right, in case you missed it, Joe Nappi, a social studies teacher at Monmouth Regional High School in Tinton Falls, is the state's Teacher of the Year. He read the announcement himself at an assembly, much to his own surprise.
And he's joining us now this morning with your reaction on your face.
Yeah.
I can't. First of all, congratulations to you, Mr. Nappi.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here this morning. I appreciate it.
I mean, to read that in front of all the students, seriously, what was going through your head? What did you think you were reading?
I had an idea when I walked in and I started to see who was in the front of the room that was up there, but it was still an amazing surprise and an honor to pull that out. I was so happy to get to do it with all the students present. I was happy that my wife was there to get to see it. It was really a special moment for me.
The wife was the giveaway, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. She was beaming from the second I got in the room.
Right.
I had an idea.
Not every day she just happens to be at the rally. So, Joe, in your own words, to talk about yourself for a second, what makes you such a great teacher?
Well, it's tough because, I want to be humble. I want to say that to them. But I think if you ask that question to one of my students, it's the way that I put them first. I try to make my class a place they want to go to. I know a lot of my students find it surprising. I didn't love high school. Wasn't my favorite place to be. So I've really striven to try to make my classroom a place where, kids want to come. They want to be there.
And what do you teach again?
So I teach several classes, but most notably probably Holocaust, Genocide, and Modern Humanity. It's a dual elective class with Kane University, so seniors are earning college credits while they're still in the high school, taking that class. And they hook us up with so many amazing opportunities. Can't say enough positive things about the Kane Holocaust Resource Center. They always get us, survivors. We get to take the kids down to the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C. every year. It's just a real unique experience for them. A class that really makes them think, develops critical thinking skills. We ask some real tough questions and things that seniors have to grapple with. What is your responsibility in society? Coming back to sort of that phrase from the Holocaust Museum that really resonates with me, what you do matters. And you can have a positive or a negative impact depending on how you choose to live your life.
Yeah, well, clearly you've had a positive impact on your students. I mean, they're all cheering there for you. So you were actually, this is what we find surprising, you were actually headed for a career in computer science?
Yeah, I didn't come from a family with a ton of money. So when I was going to go off to college, I'm only the second Nappi to ever come through college. So for me, it was always about, making a stable income. And I went into computer science because, you remember post Y2K, all the money's going to be in computers and all that stuff. But I was just kind of miserable, sitting there. And September 11th happened my sophomore year and really very personally impacting for me. Had some close friends of the family who perished, unfortunately. And it really, events like that make you really evaluate, what's important. What do you want to do with your life? And I wanted to do something positive, sort of the opposite of what I saw happen on September 11th.
Obviously, and no greater impact really than educating the future of the country, right in front of your eyes. And so you're mentioning the Holocaust right there, and you also worked with Ken Burns, right, for a PBS documentary. So you're go ahead.
I got within hugging distance of Ken Burns.
Close
I didn't
enough.
actually get to work with Ken Burns. It was an honor to be in the same room with him and hear him speak. But yeah, I got to be part of a team of educators from across the country who worked with historian Becky Belding. She's absolutely amazing Holocaust educator and historian from the United States Holocaust Museum on developing lesson plans to accompany the U.S. in the Holocaust. And I really can't say enough great things about that film. I know it's 6 hours, so they give it some time to sink in. But if you have time, definitely check that out. I couldn't recommend that enough as a resource. And of course, my lesson plan's pretty good too.
Yeah, right.
I know, right? So were you a finalist then? And did someone nominate you? How did that work exactly?
So I was nominated in my district as the teacher. Are you talking about with Ken Burns or in terms of
with your award as being New Jersey's top teacher?
Right. So I was nominated within my district, and then that nomination moves you on to the county level. So I was lucky enough to win Monmouth County Teacher of the Year, get to represent the amazing educators in Monmouth County, and that moves you on into the state final. So that pushed me up there. I got a chance to meet my other county cohort members, just so many amazing teachers from across the state. And a few of us were chosen to interview in Trenton to see if we could have the honor of holding this position. And I was lucky enough, I'm sure, to narrowly beat out some of those amazing educators to get this honor.
You know, we talk about teacher shortages around the country, in our area, right? And this desire to find more teachers like you to be put in the classroom. What exactly is it about, I guess, your lesson plans that engage students, right? Because there's so much beyond just sitting down and lecturing to a group of people and making them read out of a textbook. That stuff is just so in the past. What exactly are you doing differently?
Right. Well, I think there's definitely, reading is a huge part of students' lives. They may not do it in a book anymore. It may be mostly on their phone. I think a lot of them don't give themselves credit for quite how much they're reading while they're going through it. I think for me, it's always more striving for like, well, what are you reading? You know what I mean? A lot of times I have students, and athletes who pay a lot of attention to what they're putting in their body in terms of nutrition. But, that mental nutrition also very important in terms of what you're doing. And today, it's the paradigm has shifted a bit. It's more in terms of, how do you who do you trust in terms of sources of information? Because students are bombarded with so much stuff out there. But really, I think the most important thing that I would say, and this is something that took me a while to understand in my career, is that it has to be about them. You know what I mean? I don't think anybody really wants to do something or pay attention to something unless they're interested by it. And since you have so many different people in your classroom, you really have to speak to their interests and try to understand who they are as people. And those relationships, to me, have been one of the most meaningful parts of being a teacher and have really taught me a ton. I mean, again, for those of you thinking about a career here, if you want to be a lifelong learner, if you love to learn, again, teaching is an unbelievable opportunity to just continue to grow and learn and change and develop. For me, it's been, unbelievable in terms of where I've gone. I know a lot of people who knew me in high school watching this interview right now, believe me. It speaks to the power of education, no doubt about that.
Well, it is very clear why you were chosen to be New Jersey's top teacher. And according to the state's Department of Education, the whole school is celebrating you today.
Yeah, it's an honor. It's really, I spent last night with so many warm text messages and people reaching out to me on Instagram, old kids. And, I coached football for 10 years, players that I haven't heard from in so long. So it's really been overwhelming for me and emotional. And, I'm just so happy. Thank you.
Well, happy Nappi Day. There you go. New Jersey's Teacher of the Year. Thank you for being here this morning, and thank you for what you do each and every day to enrich the lives of so many. Appreciate you.
And congratulations
and thank
again.
you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
All
Take
right,
care.
7:19, everybody.